Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends, last week we were learning one of the beautiful Dhamma talk given by Supreme Buddha to deal the problems of our life, how to overcome, how to defeat, how to get rid of tense, defilements, our day-to-day problems. Supreme Buddha called this sutta Sabbāsavasutta, all the tense, the habits that we have dragged in this long journey of samsara, which leads us toward suffering, pain, sorrow, lamentation, and continuance of this world. If this tense does not exist in us, then we will be liberated one. We will not have any pain, sorrow, lamentation, suffering at all. So the problems is that the habits what we have dragged for a long journey of samsara. Some of the time, some things becomes very easy to us to do, and we call that, okay, it is coming from my previous life. I may be this person or that. It for our tense also, it's for our bad habits also. This is the thing that we have tracked. And the repetition of it again and again happens. What you see, what you feel, what you hear, what you taste, everything, the attachment toward these particular things, that we bring back again. And that is called tense. That is called defilements for today's time. So, overcoming of this entirely from this world, not from the outside world. Supreme Buddha usually mentioned, this world is like our body, our mind. This world, we can be liberated. We can make peace with this world. We can make peace with this life. So the next, we can stop. Next, we can make happier, peaceful life. And this tense, this Sabbāsava, this sutta is to help us to understand that. And last week we see what we learned, Dasana Pahatapa, means seeing the ashra, looking at them, we can get rid of it. We can eradicate it from our life. And that was to see that what we are thinking, what mind setup we have, what kind of view we hold, the questions of existence or Sakkaya Ditthi, seeing that it exists in me, so being aware the problem is there. So you can overcome of it. You can get rid of that. Understanding, seeing this problem. So that was the last one we learned. It is very beautiful. First one, what to see in this world, what to feel, what we can see, and how can we understand that. That was in our last sutta, last session. Today we're going to learn the rest of the ashra, how to overcome or how to abandon, how to eradicate. The first of it, according to the entire sutta, is the second one, but for today's session, it will be first. Supreme Buddha says, Samvara Pahatapa. Samvara Pahatapa means tense to be abandoned by restraining. There are some of the problems in our day-to-day life, means each solution what the Supreme Buddha gave to us, it is helpful for our holy life to lead the life to understand, realize of Dhamma, but as well as that we can use these techniques to deal with our day-to-day problems also. And you have to see that also. Okay, I may mention only about the Dhamma. I may teach you about Dhamma, but some of the problems you can relate, some of the techniques you can relate with our day-to-day life, so you can get rid of day-to-day worries. So one of these, Supreme Buddha explained, the Samvara Pahatapa, abandoned by restraining. And what is the abandoning by restraining? Supreme Buddha say the bhikkhave bhikkhu patisankha yoniso chakku indriya samvara samutto viharati. Supreme Buddha mentioned here bhikkhus reflecting wisely abides with the eye faculty restraint. So this eye, what we have, this indriya, this monk, what he does, he restrains his eye. Restraining from what? That whenever this eye sees something, what it does, if it is beautiful, if it is delighted, then it captures the view of front. What is the picture is there, and it stores in his mind or gives the idea, and he says, oh, this is beautiful. And what it does, thinks again and again, and develops craving to it. When the beginning is that when you see something and you develop that craving, that you want it, what happened? That you cross the boundaries of your day-to-day life. That happens. So when the monk is restrained from eye, what happened? Then this does not develop the desire toward particular things. So the distraction from the eyes does not appear there. That's why Supreme Buddha explains Samvara Pahatapa. If you restrain your eye, then the desire which comes or arises through the eye will not be arise. And then you will be safe for that particular moment. Then Samvara Samyutta, restraining to process of eye, means it's not Buddha saying that, okay, close your eyes and sit down for a long time. No. He's saying restraining that what to see and what to develop from that particular aspect. If the view is developing desire, so be mindful on that time. Do not let your mind goes into that. Okay, enjoy this particular moment. Restrain for that moment your eye. Then you can overcome. Why Supreme Buddha explained the restraining of eye? Because what usually we do, the chain what we have created to our day-to-day life, or we have bring it that from our past and past lives, that every time you see something good, develop desire for it. Like when the young, very young, small kid is there, he doesn't know what the front of the thing is. So he does not develop, he just curious for that. But once this young kid knows that it is delicious to eat, and the view of that picture, okay, this is the thing that you want, means as soon as he sees mother, he's happy. If you see the chocolate, he's happy, he runs for it. Why? Because now it is in him that, okay, this chocolate is very delicious. You know? So something like that. We also run toward it, but we don't run for chocolates. You know? We run for the karma to create. Chocolate is good. If you run for chocolate, it's good. But if you run for the particular things which will lead you to break your precepts, then that is not good. Then you have to restrain for that. That's why Supreme Buddha explained, Chakku Indriya Samvara Samyutta. Your eye faculty is, you have to restrain. Supreme Buddha explained, what happened? When you restrain your eye, then the tense or the problems, what caused the problems, the suffering which drags by it will not be there. In the same way, Supreme Buddha explains, Sota Indriya Samvara Samhito. Your ear also, you have to restrain. Like the problem, when you hear someone is saying bad words to you, and listening that particular thing, anger will arise in you. What should you do? You should avoid to hear that. That is restraining your ear. So, listening those words will not give the chance to anger to arise in you. That is restraint. You know that looking, or that this taste, it's very bad for you. You don't want. And even you try. Or for desire, development, desiring, that I want this again and again. Sometimes, mostly the sugar patients, they cannot have the sugar, they cannot taste sweet. But even though they have very strong desire for it, very, very strong, because now they cannot eat. Something like that, restraining. If they eat, what will happen? It will affect on their body. It will affect on their mind. So doctor says, you take medications, but better to restrain, to control your sugar. Something like that we have to do with our life also. We have to restrain the certain things in our life that will lead our life toward getting rid of or breaking the precepts, or lead our life toward suffering. We have to restrain that. Then smell, the ghana sanyam, the nose also you have to restrain. The body also you have to restrain. And mind also you have to restrain. How can you restrain your mind? That thinking of this particular person, the anger will arise. Usually when you are working at office, most of the time there are some of the eavesdrops out there. Some of the time people say some things. Some of the time their actions, and we hold grudges. We understand it's not good, but in our day-to-day life, that whenever someone has said one bad thing to you in the beginning of your life, at beginning of your job, all the time, whenever we see that person, what comes to your mind first? That this person has treated me like this at first, So just because of that thought, whenever this person appears in front of you, what happened? You develop the different kind of mind toward this person. And then the chain of this cycle will continue. So restraining your mind, not to give that chance to, okay, that was happening a long, long time ago. Don't think in that anymore. This person is changed. You can think in that way. Or the thoughts which leads you toward wanting something again and again. Hatred is there, desire is there, or the thoughts which does not have any conclusion, just wandering here and there. It does not solve any problems for you, does not give any meaning to your life. There is no chance that which will lead toward enlightenment. Such a thoughts when it comes, restrain those. This is not useful. Like Supreme Buddha has said, there is some of the questions Supreme Buddha does not answer. He said, it's not important for you to understand. It's not really necessary or needed to gain the happiness and peace. Such a things you have to see and restrain. You can relate these things to your day-to-day life also. Supreme Buddha explained, Yasinch bhikkave samvaram asangudasa viharato pajjayo ngasava vigata parilaha sangvaram sangudasa viharato evamasati agata asava vigata parilaha namukti. Supreme Buddha says, while chains, vexation and favor might arise in one, who abides with the faculties unrestrained. There are no tense, fixation, or fever in one who abides with the faculties restrained. So the problems which arise in the person who does not restrain, such a problem does not arrive in the person who restrains it. That Supreme Buddha says that asava samvara pahatapa. These are called the tents that should be abandoned by restraint. Second one is Supreme Buddha explained, patisevana pahatapa. Patisevana, it means using it, having it in our life, utilizing it in our life so we can get rid of our tents. And what is that? By utilizing it. Supreme Buddha explained, Katamecha bhikkhave asava patisevana pahatapa. What tents bhikkhus should be abandoned by using. Patisankha yoniso chivarang patisevami. Supreme Buddha explained here a bhikkhu reflecting wisely, using the robe only to protect from cold, protection from heat. So what the bhikkhu is wearing the clothes should be mindful that what is the purpose of this cloth. So Supreme Buddha explained, by utilizing that, by thinking about this cloth's purpose, that you can overcome the tents, the desire toward this particular clothes or desire for that, you can get rid of it. You know, in the months, there are several times mentioned, just because of this one robe, bhikkhus have fought with each other. Bhikkhus have done some very wrong things in that time of period, because does not understanding the purpose of this simple thing in your day-to-day life also. If you bought a very beautiful dress and you wear it to the office, and next day some another person also bought similar like that, what we feel? Oh, that person copied me. Are we very happy? No. We like to be unique sometimes. Or if another person has bought a beautiful thing and we are unable to find it, what we develop? We gain the jealousy behind it, we develop jealousy. How come? How come that person afford these things? I'm also having the same salary and I am unable to. Something must is going there, So that jealousy is there. We don't see that. But what does jealousy come from? Where this come from? Because of the clothes. This jealousy has arrived because of clothes. And why? Because we are unable to understand what is the purpose of these clothes. Seeing that the noble disciple, what he does, he understands the purpose of that. The cloth is only to wear, to look good. No, to protect ourselves from this outside thing. Like if you are wearing the beautiful dress, okay, and the dress you can show, can you wear that in winter? No, you will be cold. You will be very cold. You cannot show off that. So you have to buy the particular robe which is useful, wearable in the winter time. You cannot wear the wintertime clothes in summer because you will be very hot. You will feel very hot. That thing, the purpose of the clothes is understanding that. So the desire does not arise through it. Supreme Buddha explained that thing is patisevana, utilizing it. This clothes purpose is only this much, and that's all. So don't go beyond that. Same thing goes for your vehicle also. Same thing goes for your day-to-day works also. So attachment toward these particular objects, Supreme Buddha explained, when these objects, you see that these objects are causing the problems. The hatred is arriving through it. The jealousy is there. Too much desire is there. Or thought of what it called, ill will thought arise because of it, then you should restrain, should understand this particular object purpose is only that much, not more than that. So once you understand that, you can restrain yourself. So the Supreme Buddha explained the bhikkhu what he does. He understands the purpose of robe, so does not develop the desire toward it. There is one entire chapter in Sayyutta Nikaya. It called Labha Sakkara Sanyutta. It means that the profits or benefits are the materialism that develop desire toward it. And beautifully mentioned Supreme Buddha how the monk developed desire for the robe, for the food, residence, and for the bed, or bed means medicine. How this person developed desire for that. It's beautifully mentioned. And then Supreme Buddha explained the Mahakashapa Bhante. You should follow him, how he grows his life. That thing. When the monks when they become a monk, that time it mentioned to them, this robe, what you are wearing, you should dwell on the Pansukulika, the robe which Pansukulik means the robe that is gathered from the different clothes and sewn together, something like that, means the thrown clothes. So when the clothes are thrown outside and when you gather that, what kind of mentality you will have at that time? Where? But today you can see that we are wearing the beautiful robe in one color, and so with the machine, that is extra benefit for us in this moment. That is extra. But the ordination is for the monks, is depend on that. And it is mentioned when we ordain. And why is that? So we can be more aware of the purpose of this robe is only to cover our body, not to develop desire because of this, not to develop hatred because of this. We have seen when we live in the Sangha, if Dhamma is not there, we do have that thing. See, I'm relating myself toward this particular portion. Means some of the time the people offer a beautiful robe, very shiny, very good, the cotton is good. And when someone is offering to us, what thought comes to our mind? Oh, that cloth, that robe, it should come to me. And what we do? We go and persuade to the person who got it. Oh, you don't need much. Give it to me. So the temptation, the desire, why it arises? It arises because of that. Supreme Buddha explained about the Pindapat. Pindapat, it means the food, arms around. The food what we gain. If now today everyone is eating in the same way because you bring the food to the monastery. But in the Buddha's time, the food was something that you have to go to the door to door, or people invites you, and 1 or 2 monks is invited in someone's house, and the reputation of that person is that this person gives delicious food. And what we do? What we do is we ask who send the monks to this particular house. We go, okay, send me to that house. Okay, send me there. What? And this person, he has a long list. So the bribe is also there in the monk's life also at that time. Okay, whatever I gain, I will give it to you. I will share with you. For robe also for that. And that's why Supreme Buddha explained the tense, the desire what comes from these particular objects. If you utilize with the purpose to sustain your holy life, you can overcome the desire or hatred toward this particular object. Supreme Buddha explained, if the person does not restrain, or if the person does not utilize these objects properly, because not utilizing this object properly, the pain, the sorrow, the lamentation, the suffering or desire what arise from the person, does not appear in the person who understand the true meaning of this. Supreme Buddha explained, Imi Vucchati Bhikkave Asava Patisevana Pahatapa. Supreme Buddha explained, these are called tents that should be abandoned by using. You can relate that in your day-to-day life. This is the particular object that you have. We also can restrain the understanding the purpose of particular things when we are utilizing it. So we can understand the true meaning of it, and we do not develop the desire or anger, ill will, jealousy by these things. For this, what you need, for understanding this, you need mindfulness or keen eye to look in your life. In further, Buddha has mentioned that too. Next one, Supreme Buddha explained, Adivasana Pahatapa. Chains to be abandoned by enduring. It means accepting what it is happening to you. Supreme Buddha explained, Katamecha Bhikkave Asava Adivasana Pahatapa. And what chains bhikkhu should be abandoned by enduring. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu patisankha yoniso kamo hoti. Here a bhikkhu, reflecting wisely, bears cold and heat, sitas, unnas, hunger and thirst, jigachai, pipasai. Then Supreme Buddha explained, Dansa makasavata tapasirin sapasampasana. The mosquitoes, that all the small winds, sun, and all the things what gives us the pain, that. Then Duruttana, the very far, very deep, what you call the hole in the earth, Duragatana, or further in the spot that it is dangerous, Vanapatana, the forest, which is very dangerous, frightening one. Uppananam saririkanan vedananam, whatever the pain arises in your body, dukkhanam tipanam, which is very painful, which is very strong, unbearable, or such a things, which is very hard for us. Supreme Buddha explained that adivasaka jati ko hoti. He understands to endure it. The person endures these all things. These particular things, when you do the practice meditation, only on that time utilize it. Don't do it in other objects. Means don't bear that if someone says, someone mistreat you, you don't have to bear that immediately. The violence, you do not have to bear that. For Dhamma purpose, you should, but for the social purpose, you should not. Because that also leads to, means I am here in India, and the domestic violence is very high. So if someone says that, okay, it is okay, the Dhamma says that, okay, endure something, and I am doing that, it's okay, it's not okay for that. But for Dhamma purpose, like when you are sitting for meditation, and the flies is there, and at that time, it's disturbing your concentration. So endure it some time. When you're sitting for meditation, and the pain arises in your back or pain arises in your knees, and usually something happens when you're sitting down for meditation, and always your knee or your leg or your back, your neck will be the pain will arise there. And usually, if you're sitting down to watch the movie or doing some other work, you spend hours or hours of that in the same posture and does not arise such a pain. that time you have to see, this is the trick of your mind. I have to endure it. For that purpose, use these things. Then, when you endure these things, when you are meditating, you will see in future that the time period of your sitting for meditation is increasing. For that, use these things. And when you endure these things while you are meditating, or for the personal, in your individual life, like that you are doing a particular job or you're doing for your own work, and it is satisfying, it gives a satisfaction to you. But some of the problem by weather and that, sometimes, and it always comes to your mind, oh, I'm unable to do, I'm unable to. Just understand, endure these things in that. For these things you can do, for Dharma practice you can do, but not for the other aspects in your daily life. Okay? Supreme Buddha explained. This is called Asava Adivasana Pahatampa. These are the contents that should be abandoned by enjoying. This is a little bit complicated one, Adivasana one. And we will, I think we can do one of the sessions for this to how to develop the meditation with the Adivasana Pahatapa. And practicing that means if you are in monastery for the 1 day meditation class, on that time you can spend the entire hour to watching the feelings of this your pain which arise in your knees or the discomfort in that moment, and how to endure that. We can learn that in later time. Or another meaning of this particular word we can think in later classes. Then Supreme Buddha explained, Parivajjana Pahatapa tends to be abandoned by avoiding. Katameja bhikkhave asava parivajjana pahatapa. And what things bhikkhu should be abandoned by avoiding? When we call the avoiding thing, we know what to avoid in our day-to-day life. Supreme Buddha explained in a beautiful way too. What he says, Ida bhikkave bhikkhu patisankha yoniso chandahatim parivajjeti. Here a bhikkhu, reflecting wisely, avoids a wild elephant. So we cannot see, in Canada there is no elephants, or you can see in the safari or zoo. There you can see, but you don't have to avoid, They are more friendly. They ask you to come and touch them. So this is not for you, but it's for what? The monks who dwell in the forest. When I was in Sri Lanka in time, I haven't seen the very cruel elephants in my own eyes. I have seen them in wild, but one of the monastery we have, there is always the elephants comes, and the monks tell us that, okay, this is the meditation hut for there, and usually the elephants comes and they always destroy this particular things. Some of the time, if monk the robe also, they take it here and there. Even the monkeys does the same thing. So who's dwelling in such a forest, the senior monk or who is dwelling there for a long time, they give advice. Okay, if you see these signs there, don't go outside. Avoid that thing. Don't cause harm. Don't bring this thing on you. Okay, avoid that. So because of avoiding, if there is a cruel elephant, if you avoid that, what will happen? It won't harm you. So avoiding the certain things which will cause difficulty or pain in your life, that thing Supreme Buddha explained. Chanda asang parivajjeti. The bad horse. The horse, so he's wild, or something happened to him. If you go in front of him, what he does? He kick you. Does not give you chance to come close to such a thing. You do not have to go to near to that person or the elephant or horse or even the bull, you know, cows which are mad, the what it called boar. Boar it means the wild pig. Yeah, so the boars you have to avoid them also. Such a things. Then there are the deeper peaks are there. There are the mountain top you have to avoid. Means don't go close to edge. Something it says. Don't risk yourself by going to. Adventure is good thing. Be adventurous. Okay, means this thing is particularly related in something like that. But whenever you go to the adventure, like it is mentioned here, on the cliff also. And what we do, usually we go to the hiking and we always try to have that, hard path. Or some of the time, the mountain climbing is there. Yeah. But those are adventurous things. You can do that, but don't risk your life. Whenever you go to the adventure, what it explains to you? Safety first. They always mention. Supreme Buddha is mentioned there. Parivajana pahatapa. Safety is first there. Don't engage yourself in certain things that will cause difficulty in your life. So be safe. Okay? Enjoy your life, but be safe. Then Supreme Buddha explained, Yatharupe anasane nisinang yatharupe agochare charantang yatharupe papake nitte bhajantang vinyu sabrahmachari papake suthane suokape. Supreme Buddha explained, reflecting wisely, this person avoids sitting on unsuitable seats. Like if I go and sit down in the market, how the people will think for that, how it will affect on me, the blameful places, certain places like that. Then wandering to unsuitable resorts, going to those areas which are unsuitable for this particular person, avoiding that. You know that there are gangsters, those alleys are not good. And what you do? Let me try how it is. Something like that. Avoid such unsuitable places. There are beautiful places to go, but our mind is a little bit, okay, let's have some adventure. Risking your life. Supreme Buddha simply is saying, don't risk your life. Age is there, okay. Adventure should be there, but not because of your life. Then Supreme Buddha explained one of the beautiful things is that associating with bad friends. Since if he were to do so, wise companion in the holy life might suspect him of evil conduct. So the holy people may think that, okay, this association is a bad, so such a bad thing also you should avoid. Suspect, guilty of association, something like that, he says. Yeah, something like that. Means usually say, I'm not doing something wrong, but my friends are. Still, so usually it happens. I have that thing, it is very hard for me to avoid because half of my friends, they are in that thing to engage. But still, now I cannot go and associate in that way earlier time. So on now, I have to associate only when they invite me to home to do the rituals and teach the Dhamma. That's all. But I cannot go with them to the party or to go anywhere, the pubs and everything. Why? Because now the good people, the Sabbāsavasutta, my colleagues, will suspect, okay, this person is doing something like that. And it always bothers, it always comes to my life, Even I haven't done that, I got blamed for so many things because of the association. I know this very well, because of that. Everyone knows. I have got scored for several times, and even though, the temptation toward it, that you cannot avoid these certain things, association. So that thing, what it does, gives blames to your life. I have seen that, I have got scored by my teacher for so long. Like, I always avoid these things, and I'm traveling these days. Okay, so I went only a couple of places. But the news is that I have traveled all over the country. So what happened? Oh, this person is not good. He's not good. He's not doing the work of Dhamma. Something like that. So I should have avoided that also. And publicity is there too. But these things, those things which harms you, the things that cause a problem or brings the difficulties in your life, avoid them. By avoiding, what will happen? You will not fall into that part. That is really important to have. And it is really hard. It is really difficult. It's really difficult. Because when it comes to our mind, understanding this thing will hard. We never listen to our mind. We always go with our heart. We always listen to this. We don't listen to this. We know that this will come. So be aware, be prepared. Because our life is more worth to us than any kind of satisfaction for what is temporary. Because practicing Dhamma, Supreme Buddha explained, these things we have done for the long journey of samsara, and we are still doing it. And that is the problem. So avoiding them. That is the call. Tense should be abandoned by avoiding. Then Supreme Buddha explained, Vinodana pahatapa. Vinodana pahatapa means tends to be abandoned by removing it. Katameja bhikkhave asava vinodana pahatapa. What tends bhikkhu should be abandoned by removing. Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu yo patisankha yoniso uppannam kama vitakam nadivaseti pajahati vinodeti vyanti karoti anabhavam gameti. Supreme Buddha explained, here a bhikkhu reflecting wisely does not tolerate arising thoughts of sensual desire. He abandons it, he removes it, does away with it, and inhale. Okay, that is a beautiful thing. Inhalation. Inhalation. Okay, little bit hard spelling for me to pronounce. Inhalation. Okay, so inhalative. That thing, Supreme Buddha explained. What it does inhalate or what it does remove, abandon. This one. Uppannanam. Uppannam kama vitakam. The sensual desire when it arises. When it arises, what he does, he gets rid of it immediately. Does not nurture it. Does not give chance to grow more. What happens when sensual desire arises in our life? Does it make us very happy? Or it increases our craving? No? What it does, it gives. If we are not get satisfied in that time, what happens? So much pain is there. Not physically. Sometimes it's physical, but most of the time the mental suffering is there. The desire toward particular things. You want particular object and you don't get it. Then means you are looking to the color that you want it to you. And you are not getting that. You get frustrated because of it. The particular things you want in your life. And you are not getting it. You become frustrated. That thing causes suffering, pain to you. Understands that. But the Supreme Buddha is explaining. Supreme Buddha explained, Uppannam kama vitakkam. All the sensual desire what arise, this person immediately tries to get rid of it. He removes it, does of it, abandon. Because the person knows that kama vitakka what will does. Then Supreme Buddha explained, Uppannam vyapada vitakkam. It does not tolerate arising thoughts of ill will. Ill will is also same. When you get angry, when you have the thought of ill will, what it does? It eats you up. So always scratches you. One thought of ill will arise, and you creates the whole huge ill will thoughts. If this person has said something to you and you have the ill will thought toward this person, all the people you gather together, or they did this, and same kind of things, it brings there. That thing is there. You understand that. All thoughts of ill will happen. And we gather together. And what we do? We sometimes become violent. We sometimes become frustrated. Sometimes this ill will thought causes depression to us. Don't we see in this society? We do see it in society. Because this person is unable to get rid of these thoughts of ill will. Supreme Buddha explained, that's why this monk, he understands, wisely reflecting. Wisely wisely reflecting in his life this particular cause, sensual desire, not sexual only, sensual desire, all attached with eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, everything is there. That sensual desire arises, the hatred or ill will is there. That what kind of problem cause? You should understand. You should reflect upon your life. How this sensual desire is giving you, what is doing to you, what the thoughts of evil is doing to you. Understand. Then Supreme Buddha explained, Uppannam vihinsa vitakkam. The thoughts of cruelty. Become violent, such a things. Supreme Buddha explained, such a things you should practice by removing, not avoiding, not to just stopping it, getting out of us. This will, I don't want it anymore. Such a strong striving should be there to remove that thing. Because these three things, it's not just affecting in your life. Is three things is affecting in surrounding of you. At house, when we say the home, it's not because only one person stays there. It's because the family dwells. And the family is happy only up to that. When the harmony is there, when the mutual understanding is there, when we understand each other's need and we provide them in that, then the harmony is there. But if any person is there with this one of this object, if such a thing has a cruelty in it, the family lives in fear. What this person will do next. If their man is crazy, then domestic violence is there. If the woman is crazy, then so much expense is there, destroying things and that. Even the beat, I have seen a couple of women in here also, they beat their husband time to time. They beat their kids time to time because of that. Because of this vihinsa, such a thing, those nature, what happens? Okay, you go to the Buddha monastery, and just I was recently there, and in a boundary of our monastery, there is live the one family. Poor family, the band rings, and since the dawn to dusk, even at night, shouting does not stop. Continuously. Bantes are saying we have to bear this for long, long time. It's every day, In the Corona time, no one was there. In monastery, only 2 months lived there, but every day listening. And it's not very soft or mild like in Canada happens, saying two words, something like that. It's something that his voice, you can hear it from the 10 houses apart. So much. I was there only for 2 or 3 days. And I said, Bhante, how do you live here? How do you bear? And he says, okay, Bhante, we do practice down. So it is something like that. And when you observe what is the root for this violence, what is the root for this? Only this sensual desire, ill will, and cruelty, hatred is there. Those things cause problems in our day-to-day life. Even in workplace also. If the boss is very angry with a person, what we do? We avoid such a person. And we feel uncomfortable in surrounding of that. We feel insecure there. Even the person who is with anger, that person will also think in that way. That why the people are not surrounding it with me. Something. So Supreme Buddha explained, such a thing you should remove from your life, which cause the problems. Remove those. So you won't be in pain, and the family which lives with you won't be in pain. Harmony will be there. The happiness, the joy of family, joy of the life, you can have that once you get rid of this thing. That's why Supreme Buddha says, Ida bhikkave bhikkhu patisankha yoniso uppannam kama vitakkam. Sensual desire, nadivase, abandons it, pajarati, removes it, throws away, vinodeti, removes, takes away, vyanti karati, enhance with it, and does not come back again. He becomes aware of that. Anabhavam gameti. So it's never coming back in that way, things like this. Supreme Buddha explained for this. Ime vucchati bhikkhave asava vinodana pratava. These are called the 10s that should be abandoned by removing it. For both of these things, Supreme Buddha explaining all the times that what happens to the person who does not do and what happens to the person who does it. And what he mentions there, that if the person is not doing, then the pain, suffering is there for the person. Who removes it, he does not have that pain and suffering. Then the last one, Supreme Buddha explained, bhavana pahatabba. Bhavana pahatabba, it means tends to be abandoned by developing. So there are some problems you can overcome by developing in your life. How? Katamecha bhikkave asava bhavana pahatabba. And what 10 bhikkhus should be abandoned by developing. See, developing also helps to get rid of 10s, defilements, or the bad practices, or stains of unwholesome acts, trains of it. It's long journey of samsara, what you have read. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu patisankha yoniso sati sambojjangan bhaveti. Supreme Buddha says, here a bhikkhu reflecting wisely, develop the mindfulness of enlightenment factor. Viveka nissitam, viraga nissitam, nirodha nissitam, vosakka parinama, which is supported by seclusion, dispassion, and cessation, and repents in relinquishment, which supported by Vivek, Virag, Nirodha, such a thing that your mindfulness, sati, the mindfulness is developed by seclusion. The isolation is there. Mindfulness is always there. So understand that what it does, when you develop the mindfulness, what happens? You become aware of all the factors what we talked before. All one by one, what to avoid, what to restrain, what to see, what to endure. Those all things you can become aware by developing mindfulness. So the Supreme Buddha explained, by developing mindfulness, you become aware of it. And by being mindful, you can avoid the tense. So developing mindfulness, what it does, decrease your tense, decrease your defilements. Supreme Buddha says that. Then Supreme Buddha explains that Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhanga. Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhanga means investigation of states enlightenment factor. Dhamma Vichaya, thinking the Dhamma in your day-to-day life. When you are mindful, on that time you just shouldn't stay there as you are. You should develop the Dhamma Vichaya, develop the Dhamma in your mind. Like majority of people, what we have, always we try to find the Dhamma when we are in difficult position. When something very wrong happens, when we are very distracted, when we are in pain, in suffering, on that time, we find the solution in the Dhamma. Is the Dhamma is only for that times? No. When you are happy, when you are in peace, when you are satisfied, when you are enjoying, on that time, you should learn the Dhamma. So that Dhamma can help you to go further. That Dhamma you can enjoy. So this mindfulness, earlier time, the first factor what we talked, that mindfulness when you are there, because of the seclusion, because of this passion, because of that, the happiness is there in that moment. And that time, if you use that point to develop the thinking of Dhamma, development of Dhamma, that will help you to create the new lines in your life. So the strains of the previous one can be washed away. Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhanga. Then, because of Dhamma Vichaya, to strive in that, you have to develop the energy. The Virya Sambojjhanga, effort, energy should be there. Supreme Buddha explained that Piti Sambojjhanga, when you place the energy, when you use the energy, with the time you get the fruits of that. And in Dhamma, the fruit is called happiness. You know? So that thing you can enjoy. Rapture, the preeti, the rapture in your life, you can develop that by bhavana, by meditation. Then, Passaddhi Sambojjhanga, tranquility, entirely peaceful body. There is no pain, no worries. Complete peace with your mind and body. That you should develop to avoid the states of tense in your life. Then, Samadhi Sambojjhanga, the mindfulness, the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, something. Those you can develop by that. And then come to the equanimity. The Upekha Sambojjhanga, to come to that state which does not bother you. Happiness does not bother you. The suffering does not matter you. You come into the middle ground to become, the equanimity is there. Supreme Buddha explained Bhavika. That is Supreme Buddha explained. Who does not develop these things in these factors in their life, he suffers. But who does develop these things in their life, does not suffer. And Supreme Buddha explained, Ida Uchati Bhikkave Asava Bhavana Pahatapa. And because these are the 10 called, should be abandoned by developing. So this is the factor of meditation. If you see this, if you understand this, all the factors which is mentioning above, which all can gather there. You can pay more attention in that. So the meditation is a part of Buddhist life. As a food is required to sustain your body, the mindfulness and meditation is required to sustain the peace of your mind. So as you spend the 3 times of meals, see how much time it takes meal to prepare. For breakfast, it takes half an hour more than that some of the time. For afternoon, for lunch, how much time it takes to prepare? How much time it takes to prepare for dinner? And how much time it takes to eat? Short time, but 3 times of that we do. Every day we go, we spend 8 hours or 10 hours for some of the people. For what? To have the three times of food. All for what? To just this outer show, what we see. But for what about the mind? You eat, who enjoys? Your mind enjoys. You hear, who enjoys? Your mind enjoys. But that enjoyment sometimes can cause harm to you. Because all the time, everything is not pleasing. Sometimes they give a negative effect. So find the balance for that, how it will come there. There is no pills in the medicine, You go and ask, I have developed desire. Is there any prescription is there for? You cannot ask from there. No? You have hatred. You cannot go and ask, I'm very angry, give me something. The pharmacy. You can, if you have the bad stomach, you can get medicine from there. If you have the body pain, you can get the medicine. But for mind, there is nothing, no dispensary is there who will give pills to you. Only and only meditation will help you to do that. So understand the importance of that. Buddha did, the noble disciple did, all the Arya Savak Sangha did, and the who comes into the dispensation, such a person has understand that, and they are liberated now, or on the path of liberation. If you understand the importance of meditation, begin with half 1 hour or 10 minutes at beginning, but do it continuously. As you spend 3 times of meal, more than 1.5 hours. Lunch break is give the 1 hour, and if you don't cook at your home, where you go? You go to the restaurant, you stay in queue, you take effort to do that. You empty your wallet. You effort to sustain the body. Meditation does not need to go and stand in queue. Does not see the varieties. If there is also varieties, I am feeling happy, let me practice the loving kindness meditation. I'm a little bit distracted, let me practice the breathing meditation. Something like, there is also very varieties are there. I am feeling very energetic. I am feeling very faithful. Let me develop the meditation of qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Something like that. You don't have to taste every day the same food. All the meditations, you can have that in your life too. So when you do that, this bhavana pahatabba is developed. By developing these meditation techniques, what happens? Your tense is abandoned by that. You are washing your traces, washing the fingerprints, means something like that. If you have done any crime, what happens? The traces are there. So another person can come and find the clues and catch you. So the wise person, what he does? He gets rid of all the traces, so no one can find. Not wise person. Fearing person does that thing. Same thing we have to do with our life also. We have done so much wrong in our lives that we are still searching, continuously following us. So that things traces you have to wipe it down. So no one will follow you from this moment further. Enlightenment is something like that. There is no traces of it. There is no hatred, there is no anger, there is no desire. Completely free. There is not a single chance you will find that thing. Supreme Buddha explained, Yatoko bhikkhave bhikkhuno ye asava dasana pahatappa te dasana pahina hunti. Supreme Buddha explained, bhikkhus, when for a bhikkhu the tents that should be abandoned by seeing have been abandoned by seeing it. Ye asava sangvara pahatappa te sangvara pahina hunti. When the tents that should be abandoned by restraining have been abandoned by restraining. Ye asava patisevana pahatappa te patisevana pahina hunti. When the tents should be abandoning by using it, then yasava adivasana pahatappa te adivasana pahina hunti. Yasava parivajjana pahatappa te parivajjana pahina hunti. Yasana vinodana pahatappa te vinodana pahina hunti. Yasava bhavana pahatappa te bhavana pahina hunti. Supreme Buddha explained one by one. The certain tents should be avoiding, should be seeing, avoiding, utilizing, restraining. The monks do those particular things by seeing, avoiding, utilizing, restraining, practicing. These all things he does. Enduring. These all things he does. And what happened? His stance is Pahina. It means abandoned, finished. Is restrained. It's completely freed of that. Ayang Vuchati Bhikkave Bhikkhu Sabbāsavasutta Sanghito Viharati. Supreme Buddha said, then he is called a bhikkhu who dwells restrained with the restraint of all the tenets. Such a thing is some kind of title for the person. No? Supreme Buddha explained, Acchechi Tannam Vivattayi Sanyojanam Samma Mana Visamaya Antamakasi Dukkha Sati. By doing that, he has severed craving, flung off the fetters, and with the complete penetration of conceit, he has made an end of suffering. So he attained enlightenment by doing one by one this thing. So, when the Supreme Buddha explained this entire sutta, Idamovocha Bhagava, and the Supreme Buddha has said thus, Artamanati Bhikkhu Bhagavato Bhasitan Avinandi. The bhikkhus were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's word. So, this is the sutta Supreme Buddha explained, Sabbāsavasutta. So, you can relate this sutta one by one in your day-to-day life. You can see that what is happening and you can utilize it. Okay, so this is the sutta that we learn. May this Sabbāsavasutta be helpful for you to practice the path of enlightenment, so you may realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.